can you imagine, like, what would media like television pay to get 20K eyeballs to watch that commercial? You've got that amount of eyeballs on you. Like, media companies are losing their minds because they can't even afford it.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quintin, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, welcome to another amazing, energetic episode of Marketing with Vino. Joining us is the most amazing Gabs. Welcome, Gabs.
Hello, awesome Quintin. Hello, beautiful peeps. It is fantastic to spend some time with you.
It is amazing to have another episode with you. Always love chatting to you. I mean, we didn't get the time to chat last week, so today is absolute special. I love hearing your voice and doing these shows and drinking wine. By the way, what is it that you're drinking today?
So, it comes compliments of my best friend who dropped up this morning because I told her, crap, I'm recording an episode of Marketing with Vino, I've got no wine at home. So she lovingly dropped off this bottle to my house this morning. It's from the Marlborough Sounds brand from New Zealand. So shout out to New Zealand, thank you very much. Appreciate the goodness that you bring to the world. And it's got 2 awards, so it must be good. And it's got no 202 preservatives, so it's good for Gabby too.
Love it.
And yourself, what are you drinking today?
I've got Taylor's Pinot Noir from Adelaide Hills.
Ooh.
Most amazing. No awards for this one, but they do have this cool little temperature ink on the back that actually shows you when your wine is optimum to drink. So for red wine, we've discussed this in the previous episodes, where the red wine, when it's too hot, it doesn't taste good. So now I actually can drink my wine at optimum temperature.
So purple means good? Is purple, the purple, it's purple, yeah?
Yeah, it's in the middle. So dark purple is too cold, low, like pinkish is too warm. So it is actually optimum right now. So chin chin. Let's kick off this amazing episode.
And today, we're sharing some cool stuff with you in relation to marketing. Quintin and I were having a chat before, to be honest with you. We got on the phone, we probably spent like an hour on the phone before we pressed record. So we're pretty hyped up already. Ultimately, it's actually about marketing and understanding that there's like a tipping point. There's this place that you go to that has you inspired to go and market. And Quintin recently hit this point quite friggin' heavily and has a pretty awesome story to share with you. So take it.
Thank you. So guys, as you can tell, my energy levels are extremely high, and it started last week when I had one of my good friends come over from Perth, and he's been on Snapchat playing around, and I actually took that day that he came to visit and stay with me, I took it as I'm going to give Snapchat a crack. Like, I'm going to go full out with Snapchat and really see what it's about. So we went to go train, and throughout that training, we both had our phones out and be like, this is me training, and it's like, that's him training. And we both just got the go of it. And that day, we just spammed our audience with us training. Now,
a little cheesy, but I like it. Continue.
But the thing is, I didn't actually have an audience just yet. Like, I had literally like 5 people on it. And the reason why I only have 5 people on Snapchat, like, it's grown since then. But I used to use Snapchat for all the wrong reasons. I thought back then it was the right reasons. But I didn't have quality people on my Snapchat to follow. It was one night stands. So based on that, there was no point of me talking about business or what's going on behind the scenes of my life and at the agency, because it doesn't interest them. Like, it was a one night stand, that's it, done over, finished. So I thought, cool, got to start fresh. Created a new account. It's at Quintin Venter for everyone that's listening. Get on Snapchat.
Follow Snapchat with Quintin. It's friggin' funny. Yeah, it's funny as.
So we've got some momentum going, and just before he came, I actually sat down with one of the legends, and I thought about an Instagram strategy to implement, because I mean, it's great working with Facebook, but it's not great having all your eggs in one basket. And knowing that Gary Vaynerchuk has been talking about Snapchat for a while now, and has been talking about Instagram for much longer, And I've been knowing about these different platforms to use and to really get out there and start delivering content and value on it. But I always felt that it was hitting a barrier. It was like, this is effort. I don't want to do it. What should I create? How much should I create? How often? Is this? All of these little questions was going through my head, and I ended up procrastinating and doing nothing. So that was the bad thing that was going on. I knew what to do, but I wasn't doing anything. So you know what? I sat down with the agents, or with the legends, with the legends, and we started going over some brainstorming. And I basically came up with the idea that Instagram, knowing that how to communicate on the platform of Instagram, people love great pictures and quotes and all of these cool things. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to remember all of the amazing quotes that all of the amazing people have been saying, quoting for years. I'd rather just make up my own versions of them. So I said, JT, I'll be sending you quotes of myself.
Quintin quotes, I love it.
Quintin quotes. I'll be sending you quotes. If you can just make it with a beautiful picture and a background and have that text in there, that would be epic. So first he came up with a few little concepts, and I'm like, yep, let's go with that template. And since then, he's just been ramming them out. Now, here's the amazing thing. Since then, because I got such a joy of something that I feel comfortable in creating, and I get a kick out of creating, because rather than re-quoting someone else, I was just making up my own quotes based on that thing. Therefore, I could own it. Therefore, I was proud of it.
And well, what's one of these quotes, Quintin?
Well, glad you asked. So one of them is, and I'm going to bring up a few more. So one of them is, I love marketing because it reminds me of dating. I get to date my client's market. So that it's just these little quotes that he's been sending out.
They're tweetables.
Yeah, they're tweetables. It's short, sharp. And here's another one where I say that talking to an email list should be no different than talking to a friend via message. Make it about them. So as you can see, for everyone that's watching, it's simply just a text. So yeah, my own quotations. And just one more for the show. In online marketing, your website is like your home. How are visitors spoken to, and do they feel welcome? Or are they bombarded with different messages and annoying pop-ups? So because I can own this, I get excited to get this out, and I can't wait for JT to deliver on it. And then I can put it out there to the world.
So if I'm hearing correctly, what you're saying to our awesome listeners is, when it comes to epic social media marketing, there's two things you want to get to. One is you need to know the strategy. You actually need to know what works on what platform to get the result.
Yeah.
But that alone isn't going to get your results, because unless you're inspired to actually take the action to use the platform, then you're not going to actually implement. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to put it on your later list. Yeah. So there's two things at play: one, strategy, and two, inspiration. So tell me a little bit about, do you know what? Screw it. My apologies for. Let's give them a couple of strategies, but also, let's talk about what inspired you to go a bit hammer and tongs on all the platforms recently. So hopefully, when they hear your story, they can also be inspired to do the same thing. And then when we actually give them the strategy for how to do it, they're going to go out there and have some fun with it. So,
that'd be epic,
guys. Taking it over to Quintin, what inspired you, Mr. Quintin?
It's like you're reading my mind through the vino, that you want me to answer this question. So here it goes. We've spoken about this before, that the reason why we started this show is because we have a certain mission. We have a certain purpose of doing this show for you, the listener. Now, I went back and I started asking myself about my why, as I do each and every day. And I remember one episode where we spoke about, what, as cliche as it sounds, what would Jesus do? What would Mother Teresa do? What would Gandhi do? What would Mandela do? Or Martin Luther King Jr. if they were in our world right now? Would they be taking little photos of their food and putting that, or selfies where it's like, peace out, putting that up on their profile? Or would they actually be using that platform to spread their message and to amplify their why? So using it as an amplification, like a microphone, not a microphone, megaphone, to spread it out. So I became hooked on that idea. Now, that happened a few months ago when we've spoken about it, but it's only now that it's basically been like, cool, Quintin, you're ready, go kick ass. Because as we went on, it's all about finding your message, finding your voice in an online world. I don't even know the word for it, but it is you need to become comfortable in what you're talking about online. And you know what? I simply just thought about it and be like, fuck it. Like, I am just gonna go all out. I've got a mission. I've got a purpose behind this, and I'm doing the people that I want to serve injustice for not sharing this. So that simply just got me up and going, where it was like, cool, I'm hooked. I'm on a high of the social media. And yes, it is about likes and following, but that's not what I'm looking at. It is simply, I'm getting people to engage and saying thank you and appreciating the value that I give, which gives me fulfillment. Therefore, I keep going. And it's just this constant circle going over and over and over. And that allows me to be across 3 different platforms right now, where it is effortless for me, because I simply just think about it like, hey, cool, I've got a cool quote. I send it to JT. He goes in and creates it. And I simply make a quick little video, and that all gets out there. Now,
yep, so on a sidebar, everybody needs a JT. But
everyone needs a JT. So that I wouldn't be able to be on this high and get all of this content out the way that I'm getting it out if I didn't have the legends, if I didn't have the team doing the back end things. Because it's not only JT that is creating the visuals. I've also got Legend Mike, who is currently going through all of the content that I'm putting out on Facebook and putting that into our groups, putting that on the Facebook fan page, and what I'm putting up on Instagram, he will take that off and schedule that in certain posts. So he's actually going in and then scheduling all of these things in and making it spread even further than where it originally started from. But the difference that changed was I am now comfortably I'm not comfortable with the fact of putting my voice and my message out there, and it is serving people. It's so much fun now that I can actually do all of these things. I mean, before it was on Facebook, and we would consult with clients as to what strategy to use and how to use it and how to speak. But in reality, I wasn't using much of it because it still felt that resistance. Right now, I'm advocating from a point where it is, I'm cool with this. This is what we're creating. These are our results, and this is what we recommend because it works. But it takes you to become a certain person to be ready for that. And that might take a time. Like, be comfortable and be cool with the fact that this isn't something that can happen overnight. There's a build up until it gets to that point where it happens overnight. And that's what you got to be comfortable with. And that's you developing your message and yourself and the platform and the strategy and whichever platform you want to use.
Ultimately, though, if I'm hearing correctly, for the awesome peeps listening, this is how it rolls. You have a friggin' message to deliver to the world. You do it every day with your clients. The goal that you share, the passion that you share with your clients, that is what you want to bring to social media. However, a lot of you are stopped in doing anything because you're not tech savvy, meaning that you actually don't know how to do the do. So you're happy to take the photo, you're happy to write the quote, you're happy to make the video, you're happy to, to say whatever you need to be that needs to be said. However, when it comes to posting it up, doing all the tags, driving traffic to it, putting up a sponsored ad, whatever it might be, you're either ill-equipped to do it because you don't know how to, or you don't have the time. And so you're probably sitting there thinking, well, yes, I know I should be doing this. Or you may be thinking, oh, I want to do this, but how do I get it done? And it's funny because Quintin and I were just talking about this before we got online and started recording for you. And you need to get that in business, you need to create a team. You need to have other people that can take care of the piddly little things for you so you can just work in your genius.
Yeah.
Why is Quintin happy right now? Because all he's doing is his genius work.
Yeah.
He's just doing the fun stuff. He's literally working in the cherry on top section of all of this. He's not having to have to create the content and edit the content and post the content and measure he's not doing the whole thing. He's gone, great, I know what to do. I've got the strategy. I'm just going to do the stuff I love and just send everything off to get done for me. So this is where, like, you know, honestly, guys, sitting here listening to this, and if you're thinking to yourself, I would love to have someone do all of this for me, get in touch with Quintin, have a chat with him and see what the agency can do for you, because just like the agency is currently working for Quintin, it works for all of his clients, including myself, and it could ultimately work for you too. You know, what we're saying, and this isn't a pitch to get you to do business with Quintin. This is actually a understand that often what stops you is that you don't know how, or you don't have time to do the how. So it's about leveraging. It's about going, I need to get myself on social media because that's where it's at right now. If I don't jump on this train right now, I'm going to miss the boat, boat, whatever. You get my point.
You're so right.
Yeah.
And guys, there's even right now, you might be thinking that there's already so much competition going on online, right? And people are killing it and other people aren't killing it. But half of the world isn't even online yet. Think about it. Like, there's 3 billion people who aren't even online yet. There's only 1.6 billion active users on Facebook.
Yeah.
Half of the world isn't even online. Like,
more than half.
More than half. In the next few years, there's more and more people are being added, and that's your potential clients. And right now, if you're not in front, you're going to be way behind because these things move quickly. The reason why I'm on Snapchat so quickly right now in Australia, it is not where it is in America, the way that Gary Vaynerchuk and other people speak about it. We just don't have the capacity around it here. Like, we are so far behind. But what I'm doing right now is I'm getting ahead. By the time that these other clients, potential clients, they get the coolness of it and they get on it, I'm already rocking it comfortably each and every day, consistent with high energy, and these guys are like, check this guy out.
Yep. Now, and that's what you're going to get to. That there's a process of evolution in this, which means that when you take on any social media platform, at the beginning you're a rookie. You know, you've got to get yourself comfortable. Yes, you're all business owners, but there was probably a time in your life where you had a job. You know, remember the first month of taking a new job, Quintin? You don't even know what a goddamn toilet is. You know, you don't know anyone's name. Yeah, so whenever we take on something new, we're a little bit fumbly in it. So this is the best time to get on because you can fumble around for a little bit because this is growing, and this is not only where the future's at, it's actually where now is at. I've been telling this to my clients for ages now. It's if you're not content marketing, you're in trouble. If you're not on social media, if you're not adding value, if your marketing approach is not a give approach, it's a take approach, you're so behind in the grand scheme of things. It's not funny. It's about getting that we've already shifted. This isn't a future thing. This is a now thing, and we need to jump on board. However, you know, what works, who do we need to be, and what do we need to have it all executed? And if you are a tech whiz, meaning that you are awesome at implementing all the tech end of it yourself, by all means do it if you want to. However, is it your genius? You know, it's funny, I was running an event the other week, my Business Freedom Intensive event, and someone says to me, how do I know what to outsource at the right time? You know, how do I know how to like delegate this stuff accordingly?
That's an awesome question.
Yeah, it was. And so what I did was I drew some circles on the board, but ultimately what I did was I said to him this. I said that, and this is a video, so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see my finger. If you're listening, I'll do my best to articulate the visual. So imagine there's one circle in the middle, then there's another circle around that circle, then there's another circle around that circle, and there's another circle around that circle, yeah?
You know what? I'm going to get JT to go over this and actually create little circles. So go over the visual and I'll get him to put it in. Yeah,
and we'll put it somewhere. Awesome. So there'll be an infographic somewhere for you guys. So in the middle is genius. It's literally in the middle of it all is what you're a genius at. And now here's the funny part, right? So ultimately, as we're growing up, there's this like weird, you know, mindset of work on what you're crap at and become excellent at it. So when you're at school and you suck at math, you know, they get you math tutors and, you know, your mum and dad are getting you to stay in and do extra math homework as opposed to hanging out with your friends. Yeah. And quite frankly, you friggin' suck at math, right? But so there's this culture, there's this program of, if you suck at something, develop it in yourself.
Yeah.
And everyone's ignoring the fact that you've got genius in, say, English, that quite frankly, instead of getting you to just go in depth with language, English, literature, and fine-tune your mastery, your own already innate genius, they're getting you to take time out of your life to master things that you suck at, which is basically no different than getting a fish to climb a tree. Meaning that... So in the middle of this is genius. It's the stuff that you thrive in. So for example, right now, why is Quintin excited? Because he loves to teach. He naturally loves to teach. He's got a message he's passionate about. He loves to talk. Of course he's having fun on social media because in his genius, ching ching, he loves all of this stuff. Quintin and I created this podcast because literally we were sitting there drinking, talking, going, we're having so much fun. Let's turn this into something. We didn't go, let's make XYZ happen that we don't like. We actually went, I love talking.
Yeah, we're having fun, yeah.
To another person, let's utilize our already genius and expand on that. So the very middle circle is genius, the stuff that you love. Now, you'll know when you're working in your genius, because when you're working in your genius, you actually get an uplift of energy. So whenever you're in your genius, you get more energy. Whenever you're not in your genius, you get less. Yeah. Now, second circle. So second circle is the stuff you're excellent at, which means that, you maybe eventually got excellent at math.
Years and years of tutoring.
Yeah.
We got there.
Ultimately, though, what it means is it's skills that you've learned over the years that you've mastered and that you're excellent at. However, they don't elevate you. They don't, pump you up with energy. You're cruisy in excellence. So excellence and living in a state of excellence is you're cruisy. You're not woohoo.
Yeah.
You're not you're bombed. So for example, some of you could be really awesome and excellent at sales, but sales doesn't actually energize you, which means it's not a genius, it's an excellence. Yeah?
Yeah.
So next circle is excellence. Then the following circle is great. So you're great at stuff, meaning that you finally got great at math. Now, greatness actually does drain you. So you're great at doing X. You might be great at making a cheese sandwich, but if you had to make cheese sandwiches 24/7, you're drained. Yeah?
Oh.
Yep. The next circle is what I call either okay or competence. So what that means is you're okay or competent at it. The reality of it is I'd never hire you for the job. You're not excellent, you're not masterful at it. You've got the basics. You're a jack of all trades in that particular area. This does drain you, yeah? Then the final circle is unaware, incompetent, and quite frankly crap.
Yeah.
This is where you suck at it. It drains you to no end. It absolutely sucks your soul. So when it comes to looking at marketing, there's different tasks within online marketing, within content marketing that fall into these different categories for you. So you could be a genius at actually teaching because you know your stuff, meaning that you've been around long enough in your industry that you can sit with a client and guide them, teach them, give them the truth. And it's just natural, it's effortless, it's your wisdom.
Yeah.
And that stuff doesn't drain you, right? Then there could be excellence, which means that you now know how to train someone and you can give them a checklist, a point list, you can sit there, but quite frankly, it doesn't uplift you. It's just a part of the process. Then there's the greatness part of it, which means that you could be great at, watching them do the thing that that you're teaching them to do,
yeah.
And you're great at pointing out what's going on. It's starting to drain you even more.
Yeah.
Then we go into, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Then we go into the stuff that we're okay/competent at, which could be the absolute, could be for you, that it could be the absolute detail in the fine process of getting this person to do X when you're training them. And this stuff really does drain you. It's all the crossing the T's, the dotting the I's. If you're a big picture person, it will friggin' drain you.
Yeah.
Then there'll be this whole unaware, incompetent, crappy stuff where if you're a big picture person, you're going to suck at the mass detail, which means that if they start asking you too many detailed questions, if you're training them, your eyes are going to glaze over. you're going to start to fall asleep. So what you want to do is with content marketing is the same thing. There's going to be parts of doing it that fall into different categories. Guess what? You outsource the shit you crap at ASAP.
Straight away.
Instantly get that crap done. Yeah? Then you outsource the stuff that you're great at ASAP. Then you outsource the stuff that you're okay, competent at ASAP. Then you outsource the stuff that you're great at ASAP. Finally, you outsource the stuff that you're excellent at ASAP. And then you're left in your genius zone. And then that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
That's the process. So when it comes to having your social media marketing excel, you want to go inwards and be left with your genius. Yeah?
Yeah.
So Quintin, for example, is excellent at doing the stuff he's got his people doing. But why if you don't have to? So if our mission in business and in marketing is to function in our genius, that's when we're inspired to market. That's when we get all happy like this guy here, going, ooh, I'm having so much fun, because genius will always give you energy and everything else takes energy from you. And it's not about becoming genius in every area, because either you have the genius, which means your innate soul, just like the innate ability to do things, your soul resonates with it. Yeah. You either have the genius or you don't. You can only ever build excellence. You can't build genius. It's in you or it's not. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And once you hit that, you feel it inside. And I also want to add to it where each and every platform, I feel, sits in a different category, whether it's genius and excellence and you're great at and you suck at. Like Twitter, crap at it. Like I'm not the person that can come up with quick punchy lines. Tweetables. I'm
but not, you did just 10 minutes ago you came up with a tweetable.
Now I see it. But I'm not that person that comes up quickly with sharp comments like that. The reason why I freaking love Snapchat and the reason why I feel that is where I'm sitting with my genius, it is simply because it is a 7-second video and it disappears after 24 hours. Now, the reason why I love that is I'm not just using the 7 seconds. It's 7 seconds, then it stops, and then 7 seconds stop, and so on. So therefore, I don't have to go and pick up the camera and go Facebook Live and start getting in my own head and stutter and just become unconfident and energy goes down. It sucks. So therefore, I use Snapchat to still convey the exact same message, a sentence per snap, because it'll go 3 to 7 seconds, and then done. So It's actually like a series of things, and therefore I feel so amazing doing it because I can get my point across, I can get it there, it makes sense, it's punchy, it gets straight to the point, people engage, it's high energy, and I get my result. I stay in that zone.
I love what you're saying, because ultimately this is a message that Quintin and I have been talking about for a while, and the message is do what feels good, meaning don't take marketing on as I've got to do it. If you come at marketing, at content marketing, at social media marketing with a approach, it will friggin' suck. It'll translate into your message. It will translate into your marketing. People won't engage with it. They won't like it. There is a who you need to be, a what you need to do, and a how you need to do it to make this stuff epic.
Yeah.
The who you need to be is someone who actually genuinely wants to give, is excited, and is enjoying the process. Then the what is what's the platform? Am I going to excel on Facebook? Am I going to excel on Twitter? Am I going to excel on Snapchat, Pinterest, whatever? You choose the right what for your own genius to be expressed through. Once you've got that stuff done and you've outsourced all the stuff you don't like about it, you can start to venture into the other channels and find a way to translate your genius into them. Does that make sense? But you've created the processes, the systems in the channels that were natural to you in the first place. So that means that you built your muscle in an environment that actually enhanced, supported, and inspired you. So I've been telling this to my clients for a while. In fact, last night I ran a webinar on it. And I was saying, build 1 to 2 projects up at a time. Don't take on Periscope, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, freaking whatever I'm missing, Quintin, whatever.
All of that, yeah.
Yeah, all of that stuff. If you take it all in one go at the same time, you'll find yourself going, because you don't know the culture of each one. Meaning that, first you've got to understand what works on Snapchat, what works on Instagram, what works on Facebook, and if you know what works, which takes me to the next point of the conversation, tell me a little bit about, what actually works on Snapchat and why, because we've spoken a fair bit about Facebook in the past. I'd like to have a chat today about what's working on Snapchat, what's working on Instagram, because Quintin knows what works, and how to apply it. Then all he does is inject his passion, his inspiration, the genius of him into those platforms, and everything works. So we want you excited, but we also want you to have all three components. So tell me a little bit about what's working on Snapchat and why.
Yeah. So Snapchat is an amazing platform right now, but that gets users between 18 and 40 years old. But that is the US stats, right? So it's not Australian stats just yet. I know that M isn't on Snapchat. She just doesn't get it because it is a different mentality when we got introduced to Snapchat in Australia.
Just so you know, just a disclaimer, not disclaimer, the side note, footnote. The M is Quintin's girlfriend, just in case you're all going, who's M? Why are you presupposing I know who M is? There we go, moving forward. So M's not on Snapchat.
So yeah, M's not on Snapchat, but I share with her what I'm actually sharing on it. And she's like, I just don't get it. And that is the mentality that a lot of us have in Australia because it was first introduced to the 16, 18-year-olds who were using it for sexting. That was our vision of it, that this platform is a place where people will send naked selfies of each other and then it disappears. Great platform, risky. But truth of the matter is...
No, not risky. The great platform and less risk is what you're trying to say, yeah?
Yeah, it's less risk. But from that, people are still screenshotting it and all of that. So
yeah, but yes.
With that, we were stuck with that mindset that is what the young kids are using. Now, truth of the matter is, the moment an older generation started getting onto it, the moment the brothers and sisters and the uncles and mothers and fathers started getting onto it, those 16-year-olds were like, this is crap. I'm going to get off this platform. My daddy's on it. Like, I don't want to be on it anymore. So it's how it's slowly evolving that there is an older crowd that gets onto it. And marketers also get onto this crowd because it is knowing what marketing is. It's about engaging your audience. It's grabbing their attention, grabbing their eyeballs, and telling a story which leads them to a point of sale, that wherever you influence them to go. Now, Snapchat allows you to put up any content directly to a person, and once they watch it once, it disappears. Or you can add it to your story that disappears after 24 hours. So here's the thing. We would use Facebook to promote ourselves as to who we are, right? And there's plenty of things that we are not comfortable putting on our Facebook page out of the fear of alienating our friends or alienating ourselves based on that. So all of the gruesome stuff that go on, we're afraid to share that on our page. Or all of the nudity that goes on, we're afraid to share that on our page. All of the silly jokes that goes on, we're afraid to share that on our page. But here's where Snapchat comes into play. Snapchat disappears after 24 hours. So you can actually people feel more comfortable putting random stuff up there because they know if you haven't seen it, you're going to disappear and you're going to miss out. So it really is just a platform where you can be yourself. That you wouldn't put yourself up on Facebook doing silly stuff because you're afraid that over 5 years' time, someone's going to watch it and be like, that guy's crazy and that's why we shouldn't vote for him. But when it comes down to Snapchat, it literally is what's happening in a moment, and it is how we live our day-to-day life. People feel that they are connecting with us. Now, here's where the statistics come into play, that you can actually see how many people have viewed your snap, and the attention ratio compared to Instagram and Facebook is phenomenal, because out of your friends, when they're bored, they will most likely go through your snaps because it is engaging, it's telling stories about other people's lives, and it is literally they're just sitting there. So they're going through your day-to-day experience. So you're actually grabbing more attention Now, using this in a business purpose, you could use it as the way that I've been using it by actually sharing some stories, whether it's around how to do Facebook ads or how to do a certain strategy. Or if you're a personal trainer, you can show certain training programs or exercises and say that makes up today's routine. And then by the end of it, you can have your call to action. Now, your call to action, you need to know, also disappears after 24 hours. But there's so many different ways of creativity that you can put your call to action into it by whether you're screenshotting you're taking a photo of your screen, or you're taking a photo of the flyer, or you're actually...
But ultimately, if I'm hearing correctly, we're going to run a podcast on this next time, guys, but there's actually 6 laws of influence that has people take action. One of those laws of influence, and this comes from Cialdini's book, called Influence, just in case you want to know. And honestly, it's a really hard book to read. I've read it 3 times purely because, what can I say, I'm a bit of a nerd, but it's really a hard read.
Yeah.
So we'll run a podcast for you and give you the gold from it, so you don't have to go through that torture. But one of those laws is the law of scarcity, meaning that people will actually take action when they feel like they're going to lose out, they're going to miss out. So this is where sales work, and unfortunately don't work too. Like when you, in the Australian market, especially down here in Melbourne, I dare say it's all over Australia now, sales have been a prominent thing for the last couple of years. Have you noticed that there's sales all the time?
Yeah.
So years ago, I remember when I was a kid, like kid by teenager, I could not buy clothes at the price points I'm buying them at now. Meaning that the big brands are just having big sales all the time. Why? Because it's a law of scarcity. They've learned that by putting a sale on, it creates a bit of a fire up someone's bottom, and it has them want to take action right now.
Yeah.
So Snapchat's actually using law of scarcity, which means that if I don't do something now, I'm going to miss out.
Yeah.
So, here's this Snapchat. I've got to pay attention to it, which means that they're going to be extra attentive when they view your Snapchat.
Yeah.
Because it's about to disappear, right? Furthermore, if you do put up a call to action, meaning that you put up something on Snapchat that says, grab my call, blah, 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 if they don't take action really quickly, it's gone. So this is the best use of law of scarcity I've ever friggin' seen in the marketplace. This isn't a 3-day sale that you now know is going to come back again next week.
That permanent closing down sale,
that permanent. It's funny. I remember driving past. There's a lighting company. Goodness, what are they called? Who cares? They've got yellow signage.
Yeah.
But I remember every time I drive past, they've got a 25% discount or a 50% sale. They've always got a friggin' sale on, and it's always limited. It's always for a few days, but it's always there.
Yeah.
So it's great for the people that just randomly drive past, but for the locals, they've clued in. But Snapchat has mastered the art of law of scarcity.
Yes.
Meaning that as human beings, there's something funny in our human nature. We don't want to miss out. This is why, if we go into a shop and we see, I don't do this anymore, but I remember falling prey to all of this years ago. Seeing a bin filled with notepads, and they're normally $3 each, and now they're 20 cents each. All of a sudden, you're compelled to get yourself 20 notepads because because the 20 cents each now. It's a law of scarcity. If I don't do something right now, I'm going to miss out.
Yeah, fear of missing out. Yeah.
Yeah, massive fear of missing out. So this is what has people have so much crap in their home that they're not using, or even they'll see their favorite designer brand jeans, for women, men probably too. They'll see their favorite brand designer jeans on sale at 70% off, and they've only got a size 8 left. And quite frankly, I'm a 10 right now, but you know what? I'm going to be an 8 soon because I'm on this wicked diet. So it has them buy these things that sit in their cupboards because of law of scarcity. So law of scarcity is powerful.
Extremely.
Loving what you're saying right now, because Snapchat actually gives you this beautiful ability to tap into that law without any of the past BS. So we've now, like I said, become accustomed to sales. Now we've actually switched it where we're expecting sales, and consumers aren't even willing to buy retail anymore. They've taken law of scarcity in the retail market and unfortunately killed their own industries, because consumers are just I'm just going to wait for the sale.
Exactly. They know when it's coming, so they just hold off for it.
However, Snapchat is a wonderful way to to give rebirth to law of scarcity.
Yeah.
Like I just got that then. I don't know, like just listening to
Yeah.
you talk, that was epic. Thank you. And once again, like I said, we will run a full podcast on all the laws. Right now, it's this one. What's your take on that when you look at it like that?
Well, it's exactly that, and the way that we use it is the way that you can actually see how people engage with it is when you take a screenshot, you can see that whoever's taken a screenshot, you get a notification. So the way that I've been using it is I would basically put up something on Instagram, like one of those cool quotes, and then underneath it I say, P.S. follow me on Snapchat, and then a little ghost, and then my username at Quintin Venter for everyone get on it.
Quintin, just in case you haven't heard it like 8 times already, at Quintin Venter.
So what I then did is saying, I was like serious. I was like, if you're one of those snappers that just got on board from my Instagram post, screenshot this. I've got some cool stuff coming your way. It's going to be epic. Cool. That's it. So very straight to the point. And all of a sudden I get these notifications of people screenshotting it because they came from Instagram.
That's awesome.
And that's how you communicate with your audience. And another way that you can do that then is you can also send them a personal message. So because they know that this device is in your hand, it is you. So if I'm sending to a random person that's now following me and I go, dude, you're epic, thank you for following me. You know what that does to the market? They're like, holy crap, this guy just acknowledged me. Like, wow.
It's like, ooh,
yeah, imagine one of your celebrities doing that to you. I mean, that is gold. And that's how you need to communicate with your market, is creating that context around it. This device is allowing us to create the next level of context.
Yes.
So that's my take.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So ultimately what you're saying is that, what's the strategy? So
the strategy remains the same. You need to give a lot of love, and then you put something behind it. But it's not up to you to decide when you put something behind it. It is when your market starts asking for it, then you know that now is the right time. So another way of looking at it is wait until it's cool for you to put something forward. Don't go ahead and start putting your call to actions or your offers right off the bat, because then you just become one of those annoying people that are in the middle of the city center asking you for something the whole time, like sign up here, do this, give me money. Like, do it when
if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is all the peeps that are listening, if you want to get on Snapchat, it's all about, you know what, just have some fun for a while. Just have it be an opportunity for you to go, I'm having fun, but I'm going to call it marketing, meaning that it's like, you know, if your husband or your wife goes, what are you doing? I'm working, honey.
Taking selfies.
That's right. So have a bit of fun, add some value, you know, create some entertainment. And then once you've got your platform really responding, and you can see, if I'm hearing correctly, you can see that people are engaging quite a fair bit. Once you've got the engagement up to a level where there's like constant growth and it's growing, and it's got quite epic, then offer them a promotion, offer them something. So being that if Snapchat is the place to go to really utilize law of scarcity, I'm kind of thinking that it would also be really good to piggyback on the momentum of that. These people are clearly addicted to that law to be there in the first place. So that means that you want to maybe give them, you know, guys, I'm giving, like if it's an opt-in, you know, I'm giving away my blah, blah, blah formula literally for the next 3 hours, grab it here. So you want to maintain the fact that this is a law of scarcity platform and give them something for 3 hours. Then look at promotions. So you know what? For the next 2 days or for the next 1 day, I'm going to give anyone on here who's following me X amount % off, blah.
All you have to do is just screenshot this, or you can go send me a personal snap that you've seen this. Those are the ways that you're engaging with your market. And
I like that. That's actually really helpful. So make sure you do tell people to screenshot. Make sure you do tell people to
to respond. They can send you a snapback personal, and you get the notification. You're like, all right, cool, I got it now. Like this is how we need to start communicating with our market. One of the people that we're following, or that we started to follow, as they were explaining this, she is a personal trainer in the States, and she's getting 17.5K 17,500 people looking at her snaps, just one snap at a time, per day. Can you imagine, like, what would media like television pay to get 20K eyeballs to watch that, the commercial? You've got that amount of eyeballs on you. Like, media companies are losing their minds because they can't even afford it.
Yep, it's funny. I was just watching. Oh, brilliant point, guys. This is the thing. The world's changing. You know, we've moved from radio and television into social media, and there's a way to actually leverage this stuff and get on the bandwagon before things change and you start having to pay to Snapchat. You know, Facebook's already charging you to advertise.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, the Snapchat probably will too in the future. So while it's hot, you know, if you knew that Facebook was going to perform the way it did years ago, you would have built up a massive fan page years ago and leveraged from free advertising. Right now, if you post stuff on your Facebook business page, 1 to 3% of your likes see it because they've changed the game. We have no idea what Instagram and what Snapchat will be doing in a couple of years' time, and you may lose the opportunity that you have right now to get some free advertising.
Yeah,
which is epic, right? But it's funny. I was watching this show. Goodness, I wish I remembered the name. It's like Kitty something. Anyway, my apologies. It's a comedian, and she's on a TV show. So she goes and guest speaks at this TV show. It could even be she could be a part of it. I don't know. I only checked out a few videos, but literally she gets on there and she's like a guest on this host show, and she says to the guy who's got his own show, she goes, "You know what? You're doing it all wrong." He's like, "What do you mean?" Well, here you are with your big TV, big TV show and your big friggin' cast and, your Channel 7 thing or whatever it is. You're putting all this money into, cameramen and, editing and production and, here you are in your suit and everything's picture perfect. And quite frankly, there's these people on YouTube who have more viewers than you friggin' do. And they're literally iPhone.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Basic editing that you can find with a free app, and they've got millions of people following them. And then she puts up all these different examples of certain people. She's like, here's this guy. She plays a snippet of what they're doing, and it's like BS. The guy's just talking about his thoughts, and there's 1 million people following him. Why it's funny though is this is the game. When you look at TV shows, the amount of work, the amount of money, the amount of the structure that goes into gaining that platform, the world's changing.
Yeah. Well, what's the point of it all if no one's watching it? I mean, at the end of the day, marketing is about firstly grabbing the eyeballs. Once you've got the eyeballs, then you need to go and grab their hearts. Then they'll have some thinking to do, and that's when you connect with their brain. That's when all your logistics and everything come in. But if you don't even grab their eyeballs, you've lost it. So if you can have a platform where it's currently cool to grab eyeballs on, go for it, guys. See, the reason why all these social media platforms are constantly coming out is because the young kids are going on it, and then all of a sudden their parents are getting on it. They're like, screw this, I'm off it. And then they think of something else, and then they develop the next social media platform. That's how we've been growing.
It keeps evolving, and honestly, don't be surprised if another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pop out.
Exactly.
Ultimately, though, the message here is get on the ship, because it takes a little bit of time to build a platform, meaning that there is a bit of a time delay between you putting your stuff out and this stuff going viral.
Yeah.
It's rare for stuff to go viral really quickly first take. However, I've got a client of mine right now called Em. Oh, she's brilliant. She's friggin'. Have you seen her videos?
Yes.
They're so funny. So ultimately, she's a relationship expert. She's a relationship coach. And what she did was she was like, I'm putting out all these videos, and she had this insight where, most people don't want to share my videos because they're about relationships. They don't want to share it because either they don't want to admit that they're single and dateless, or they don't want to share it because they don't want their husband to know that they're not happy. So what she did was she started to make things funny, meaning she's now doing skits. She's got a couple of actors on board. They're friggin' funny. Check it out. It's so friggin' funny. It's a crazy thing called Love. Check it out on Facebook. That's her page. But the point is that now she's started to put out these funny videos, and they're starting to spread. Like literally, she's like, "Oh my god, I've got like over 1,000, like 2,000 people watching my video," and she's been at it for a couple of weeks. The truth of the matter is there is a tipping point. Start putting your stuff out there, and there's a point where there's a tipping point where like literally the whole thing just expands because you've got enough people following you who love what you've put out for a while, but you've got to be consistent. And they start to share, and this stuff goes viral. This stuff goes massive. So here you are, with low production costs, like the point to celebrity is so cheap right now compared to what it used to be. That what I want to say to you is, one, make sure you get your who right. Make sure that you come from passion, from heart. You give it your gold. Make sure you use the right strategy in the first place, and then be consistent. Put the stuff out there, and it will develop a platform for you. And get on the ship now before it gets to a point where every single social media platform is only affordable by people that have actually got the money to put behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Well said. Yeah.
What would you add to that?
Get on the boat, guys. We're already behind with Australia. We've got a delayed boat being shipped out, so get on it while it's still at the docks. Literally, Australia's behind. Ching ching. Australia's behind with. That's us taking a sip for our listeners, our watchers.
Indeed. Just so you know, we do authentically drink when we chat to you.
So Australia is behind with most of these platforms. So get on it while it's hot, as the trends move. And you know what? If you've done your market analysis and your market isn't on these platforms, then don't go ahead and be on there. If they're not on this platform yet, you enjoy it, it's your genius. Like for myself with Snapchat, right now my market isn't on Snapchat.
Well, it is. It's just they haven't come on board with you yet.
Yeah,
so
they haven't come on board.
Which actually,
in that sense.
like, you know what? Yeah. So let's give you some bonus content. Bonus content is this: that the truth of the matter is, you're going to start off with a small platform. If you go brand new into a platform, well, I still remember. Okay, this is pretty sad. I did jump onto Facebook a little bit late in life. I literally jumped onto Facebook in 2012. Which is late.
Same. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Anyway. And I remember like people telling me about it. I was like, yeah, this is dumb. Like, why can't you just talk to people? What's wrong with you? Then I eventually jumped on it. I still remember the day I was sitting in my office and I created a Facebook profile. And I'm like, well, this is dumb. What do I do with this? I've got no friends. I had no friends.
No friends.
And so I left the whole thing behind. Then I met a friend who told me about Facebook, clearly I've now got an opportunity for a friend, and she showed me how to do it, and she told me how to send a friend request and get a friend.
Good friend.
So a few years back, like we're literally talking, goodness, it was only like 4 and a bit years ago. So fresh, really. I'm sitting there oblivious to the whole thing. I'm wanting to play a game. There was like games you could play on, but you needed friends to play the game. It was like a pig game or something, and I couldn't play it because I had no friends. But anyway, so she teaches me how to, and literally then I've got her and I've got her sister and I've got one other friend. So I've got 3 friends on Facebook. But why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it with you because if you're going to approach a new platform for the first time, maybe Snapchat. At the very beginning, it is just going to be a few people, and they may not be your market.
Yeah.
The idea is to keep adding, like Quintin said, share your Snapchat link with your peeps on Facebook, with your peeps on Instagram, with your peeps wherever else you are.
Podcast.
That's right, podcast. And start channeling your peeps to Snapchat.
Yes.
And then you're going to build yourself another platform somewhere else where you can express yourself in a different way. So the idea here is that you're actually building a monster marketing machine, meaning that you've got a way to express yourself in podcast, a way to express yourself in video, a way to express yourself, does that make sense, on Snapchat. You're actually utilizing all the different ways to express yourself, to communicate with other people, and create relationship. And at the beginning, like I said, it was just my friends. Like I just had 3 friends, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there was no point in advertising back then. That for you, if I'm going to give you the gold of today, well, it's tonight because we're talking in the evening, well, it's 6, so it's kind of evening because it's dark in Melbourne because it's winter. The gold from today is this: start using the different channels, but build them up 1 at a time or 2 at a time, so you're not overwhelmed.
Yep.
2, share with your already existing platforms links to your other social media platforms,
Yes.
so you invite them into a different conversation. So it's not just you speaking to your 3 friends like I was 4.5 years ago. You're actually inviting people to come hang out with you somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And number 3, do it from a place of wanting to give, getting excited, having some fun, and having the opportunity to spread your message, your gift to your marketplace.
Well said. You said that amazingly. Well, guys, that's basically it for tonight as well. You guys have been amazing. I was so passionate about sharing this with you guys because Gabby and I, we actually haven't had a time to actually talk about this, and now is the right time. And for you to listen to this right now, thank you so much. You have been amazing as always. To our viewers,
and listeners,
there you go,
because
viewers.
if you're thanks, viewers. So if you're listening to the podcast, awesome to have you on board. If you're watching this on YouTube and seeing the video and listening to, awesome to have you on board. Thank you for your continuous support. Loving the fact that we get to chat with you consistently every single week. And Quintin, thank you again for an epic conversation. Guys, have a rocking week, have a rocking night, a rocking day, wherever you're listening to this, whatever time it may be. Wishing you more epicness in your business.
Lots of love to you. Ciao.
Ciao.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.